friends.
Wait a minute.
What?
It's only the 29th.
Well, it's close. It's close. We are live today on December 29th, but if you're catching this on replay, happy 2026. Today, we are going to talk about strategies for good health in the new year. And I am bringing online today one of our favorite registered dietitians, Maya. Maya has been on before. This is her second visit with us, and we hope she'll be a regular. And we'll be bringing her on periodically throughout the year because she is just a fountain of knowledge. And Maya really gets what it's like to struggle with obesity because she has. And she now, I mean, look at her. She's gorgeous. She is fit. She likes to exercise. She does all kinds of fun things. And she is just super duper healthy and very knowledgeable about all things having to do with nutrition. And she's even tried a GLP-1. So she understands what it's like doing the GLP-1 stuff too. And if this is your first time at Anchor Moments, my name is Gina. I have type 2 diabetes, and I have been on a Mounjaro journey for 102 weeks. Today, I'm going to be taking my 103rd Mounjaro shot, and it has been a game changer in my life. I have lost at least 50 pounds since my very first shot in January 10th of 2026 or 2024. So I'm really close to my 2-year anniversary. And I also had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, disappeared and is now gone. And it disappeared within 8 months of being on Mounjaro. And I even had an ultrasound of my liver, and it is clean and pristine. And my A1C is now in the normal range at 5.4. So I am just super, super happy to be on a Mounjaro journey. And I have battled obesity most of my adult life. So it's really exciting to finally have some good health.
And my name is Chopped Liver.
Yeah,
apparently.
and then sitting next to me, Mr. Chopped Liver here, is my husband, Jeff. I've been married to him for 35 years. Jeff is not on a GLP-1, but he has been trying really hard to lose weight alongside with me, doing it without a GLP-1 tool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And he is also my tech support. So he's going to be helping with tech support today. And Maya, can you tell us a little something about yourself and a little bit of your journey? And we have some of the pictures that you shared the last time you were here that will show for anybody who's not, where this is their first time getting a chance to meet you.
Awesome. I see some familiar names. Hi, guys. Great to be back. Thanks for having me. I just want to be here to support you guys in any way I can today. And my journey in a nutshell, I grew up in a Lebanese household. Food was love. It was one of those dynamics where, food got put on your plate and you didn't eat that second or third plate. You got the whole, like, what's the matter with you? You don't love me? You don't like my cooking? So food was love at a really young age. Italians, anybody who...
Oh, yeah, I'm half Italian.
Yes,
I get that from my Italian grandmother. Oh, yeah, food is totally love.
Yeah, this was baby Maya way back in the day. I think I stopped weighing myself. This was over 20 years ago at this point. I really stopped weighing myself probably when I hit, I believe it was over 205 or 206 on the scale. And there's, as many of you can relate and know, it's not just physical weight on the body. It's chaos in the mind and chaos in the heart. And, I decided at one point, I remember working for one of my first jobs before I even went back to college was a retail department store. And I remember going to the department store and getting these pair of jeans for this one young girl who I looked down at the waistband and looked at my thigh. And I don't know why that day was particular or special, because it wasn't, but I remember thinking like, wow, I can't fit this waistband up my thigh at this point. So I want to do something about this. Now, I wasn't a dietitian at this point, and so I decided to lose weight. And, what do you do when you're young? You turn to beauty magazines and all the wrong things. And I lost weight quickly and incorrectly, and really fell into disordered eating. Went back to college to figure out, how do I feed myself, and became a registered dietitian. And I joke with people, as I went back to school to become a dietitian, I learned that an apple was healthier than a candy bar, but that did not mean that I was making that choice. There's a little bit of an echo, though. I'm hearing the little bit of an echo back.
Oh, we don't hear it on this side.
You don't? Okay, good.
You sound good.
Okay. Yeah.
So at that point, I paralleled a lot of my studies with cognitive behavioral therapy and psychology and brain science, because it's for a lot of us, I think we can all relate. Like, knowing what to do and doing it are two different things. I mean, anybody who's been on a weight loss journey of any kind, like, I've always joked with my clients and patients that we could be nutritionists in ourselves. Like, this isn't about knowing what to do anymore; it's about implementing it. And so, fast forward, I had I opened a private practice. It was cash pay. I taught behavior change for a long while. And I had advanced, I don't know what the next slides are. I forget what I put on these, but you can head to the next.
But yeah, it looks like you were on TV shows even.
I did. In my early career, I did a lot of, I held a lot of workshops and was the food and nutrition contributor for 3TV here in Arizona. And I moved in and did a lot of corporate wellness. It kind of evolved. And really, COVID had changed a lot for me. Now, I wasn't at goal weight at this point. And my background, it wasn't until COVID that I was diagnosed, learned about severe trauma and complex PTSD in my background, which I think many of us share in some way if you grew up with some kind of trauma in your background. And that's what opened up a lot more for me in terms of my weight loss, knowing that there are multiple levels for us, not just the physical, but I had to change how I think. I had to change how I feel. Like there is, some of you may know, there's definitely there's a somatic component. You've got the brain, but you also have the body. And so when the body is in a constant habituated state of stress on a regular basis, that doesn't yield to, that doesn't allow you to lose the weight if the body is in a constant state of fight or flight. And so many factors kind of came together over COVID. So it was really then that I started shedding. It wasn't until I worked on more of the inner pieces that I started shedding the extra weight. I kind of stuck around 180 for a while, bounced down to 160. And then a year and a half ago, hit my goal weight of about 130, 135. And certainly maintained it. I did use a low dose GLP for the last 10 to 15 pounds. And eventually opened up Southwest Dietitian Group. We're in Arizona and Portland, and we serve many states actually across the country now, which is nice via telehealth. This is some of the team. And I had decided to start accepting medical insurance. So what I didn't realize is that 95% of people have benefits for nutrition, that they can see a dietitian and pay $0 out of pocket, which is incredible.
$0, you guys. Yeah. Free.
Right. I mean, you pay for your health insurance.
Yes. So, I can say that's how I found Maya. I didn't know I had free registered dietitian things as part of my health insurance. And I'd been on a GLP-1 for over a year and a half. Yeah. And then I realized, I really need to know what my resting metabolism is. And to be able to get a high quality resting metabolism test, I should see a registered dietitian. And I looked in my health insurance to see who would be on my plan. And I didn't know it would be 100% free, but I was hoping they'd pay for like a little piece of it if I saw someone in network. And that's how I found Southwest Dietitian Group. They were in network. They did the resting metabolism test in their office, and they were having a DEXA scan come in a DEXA scan mobile to their parking lot like a week or two after I found them. And so I thought, oh, I got to give Southwest Dietitian Group a chance. And they're really close to my hometown. So it's not too far away either. And I'm so glad I found her. And I'm so glad I looked because I've been meeting with her and with Taylor, who's also a dietitian through Southwest Dietitian Group. And it's been 100% free, 100% covered by my health insurance.
Nice. Yep. Yep. Yeah, most people don't. I always tell people to make sure you look into your preventative services. In my experience, to the best of my knowledge, insurance companies aren't going to be forthcoming about what your preventative services are because they're covered at 100%. Like everybody gets to meet with their primary care doc once a year with all these labs covered at once a year. And if you have a good physician who you can add some extra labs in there that you might want. So anyway, use them because we pay for it and we pay a lot of money for it.
Yeah. Yeah, health insurance is not cheap, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it was a COVID pivot for what we wanted to do with business, and I know that we just want to be able to serve people and help people on their journey as providers, and the medical field comes with its own hardships for sure. But continuing to accept insurance that was a choice we have made and continue to make just because I think people need it right now. So we've got several dietitians on the team, and then I run the weight loss support groups that we have, and here we are today.
Yay!
Yep.
Oh, this is a fun picture.
Yeah, we do some community events so this is they do a mud run once a year. So we get together some clients and patients and friends and run in the mud.
Gosh.
Yeah, this is just current. So I put some before and afters. I always tell people I'm not a huge fan of before and afters, and I know a lot of you will relate to this because I always tell people, like, there's no one on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or wherever when you have these before and after pictures, the amount of work that you have to do on the inside in order to create permanent change. I mean, those are the people that I have the most respect for in the world, because you can't see that change on the inside and what you had to go through. All the times that you did something when you didn't feel like doing something, or all those times that the scale didn't move, but you kept going. Like, those things you can't see in before and after pictures. So it's, they're there because it's, I guess, accepted, but, I have a lot of respect for everyone. We didn't look at this last time, in our first one, but, I don't know if that's something that you want to go into right now or not, but ultimately it is how the alignment framework is how I have come to understand my own weight loss and create sustainable change. Like, losing weight is one thing, but sustaining that weight loss is an entirely different thing. Maintenance is
that's right.
Mm-hmm. So basically, in a nutshell here, everything has to align. Everything has to align. If anything is misaligned, we're not going to have long-term maintenance. So beliefs are just things that I believe to be true about myself and my world. They're thoughts I think over and over. Beliefs, you're not going around thinking like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, or I'm not capable. But we do have everyday thoughts that create or are manifested out of that. And those thought categories can be everything from all or nothing thinking, catastrophic thinking, obsessive thinking, overthinking, trying to control things we can't control, telling stories that aren't true. Like, these are all habituations of mind and habits in the way we think, which create how we feel. That's cognitive behavioral therapy. Stress can be a habit. Frustration can be a habit. Anger can be a habit. Sadness can be a habit. Depression, anxiety can be a habit. Those drive our behaviors and they create what we have in our life. So most of us just look at the behaviors, and I go to change my behaviors. And don't get me wrong, for a lot of us that works. And that wasn't me. I'm just sharing what I know. Just changing my behaviors. I think there was I don't know if it was a book title or what it was, but the last thing I'll say, it was, I think it was a book title. It said, if if how-tos really worked, we'd all be skinny, rich, and happy. so so it goes to show you that there's so much more under the surface. And
That's
once again,
right.
this is why I have a lot of respect for everyone here. So yeah, that's the last thing to say. As a dietitian, there's a lot you can dive into with proteins and fats and carbs and metabolism, and I'm happy to go down that path with you anytime. Answer any of your questions. I think from what you've learned here, it's, to me, in my experience, weight loss is much more.
Oh yeah. And I'm glad you explained this chart, because that is important, because what we want for 2026
Mhm.
is to get healthy and stay healthy, you know, not as a temporary thing, but as a permanent thing, and be as healthy and happy as possible.
Mhm. Yep,
Okay,
absolutely.
is that it? That's the last slide. So let's go to where there's no slides and just us.
How about that?
Thanks, Jeff.
Sure.
Yay. So looking for going to 2026.
Now, before you do that, do you want to just mention that we have a hard stop tonight?
We do have a hard stop tonight. We get an opportunity to babysit our grandson. So
And no offense, but we love him.
we do love him. So there will be a hard stop tonight, but we are going to try to answer as many questions as we can from our audience. And I'm seeing some cues. So if you have a question, if you could start your question with Q, 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 capital Q, 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 so we know, oh, that's a question and we should hit that. We are going to answer as many questions that you have about having a strong 2026, a strong, healthy 2026, and some ideas for really good strategies for you. But if you really paid super close attention to the beginning of this video, one strategy that I have for everybody: check your health. If you have health insurance, check it. Call the number that's on the back of your insurance card. Or if you have, most of them have a website, check on their website too. But ask them, what is my preventative medicine? What do I get for free? And not only do most insurance companies have free opportunities to visit with a registered dietitian, but there's also the opportunity from many, many, many health insurance companies for you to be able to see a counselor for emotions. And they usually, you can't call every single day for hours. There's a certain amount that you can have for free, and it'll be different depending on your health insurance. But there is that opportunity too. And a lot of times there are emotional things that we I don't know. I am a professional emotional eater. I've been an emotional eater my whole life, but for all the emotions, the happy ones as well as sad ones, and stress and all of that with emotional eating. But even when I was 35, I spoke with a priest, and I shared some difficulties of some trauma that I experienced when I was younger. And he helped me to be able to go and get some counseling when I was 35. And I did it for a year, and it was life changing, where I knew I didn't have to carry that toxic shame. It wasn't my shame to carry. And that was, I guess the best word I have, just, it made me feel like a huge weight was lifted. But I eat for all reasons, and even for the happy things too. So it helped me some, but it didn't totally cure me. But it was a piece of my puzzle. And so you may have that opportunity as well through your health insurance, where you might be able to have some regular counseling for free, and you might be able to see a registered dietitian like Maya. I was on her website, and she has over 10 different insurance companies that are name brand insurance companies that she accepts, and she also has telehealth. So for people who live outside of Arizona, but just throwing that out there. So one strategy is find out what your health insurance will cover for you. And Maya also mentioned we all get a well visit. No matter what health insurance you have, you everybody gets one well visit a year where you get to meet with your primary physician and they ask you a lot of questions. They can run some blood work and some different tests to make sure that you do not have a chronic illness that they didn't know about. One of the things, they have you pee in a cup, and I can tell you with Jeff right here, even though your pee is yellow, they may see that there's some microscopic blood in there. And that is a sign that you might have cancer. And if you can find things like that early, you can get cured and you can live. But if you let things fester until you're under so much pain, you finally go see a doctor, it could be over. And just one super quick story that happened to my neighbor. He always felt like he had backaches, and
He had a physically demanding
but he
job.
had a very
So it
physically
made sense.
demanding job. Oh my gosh, he had a very, very physically demanding job, but he always felt like, he had backaches. So he had the machine that made him hang upside down, trying to help
Inversion
with,
table.
to help him with his backaches. And then one day he woke up and he went blah, 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 and his wife couldn't understand him because it was gibberish. And so, it was a 911 call, and yeah, he had a stroke, but come to find out at the ER, he had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And then he only lived like a week longer. And it wasn't the stroke that got him, it was the cancer. But he had cancer all that time, but he wasn't someone who used his once a year free well check. And he was a Teamster. I mean, I'm sure he had health insurance, he just wasn't using it because he was a tough guy or whatever. But take the time for your once a year. And I want everybody in 2026, see your doctor, your primary care doctor at least one time.
Because you're worth it to take care of yourself.
You are so very worth it. So that's I'm just giving you the number one. And now I'm going to have Maya give us a couple of her best tips on that are top of mind. And then we're going to go to the questions in our from our shipmate community.
So if you think of a question while we're talking here,
start typing.
Just go ahead and type it in. Go to QQQ if you want.
Yes. So a couple of your Maya.
I will say I didn't. Tip number one is just coming off of what Gina mentioned. In 5+ years of insurance verifications, I will tell you this is that when you call your member services on the back of your card, it's very common to be given wrong information. So the more words you have that are preventative nutrition counseling. If they say to you that you don't have any, or you continue the conversation with them and dig, because sometimes they just don't know where to look, and that's okay, but they do have them. A lot of them do. Some of them are written out. I know somebody in the comments said with Medicaid, which is true, but that's okay. Tips for, you said the new year, correct?
Yeah. Healthy strategies for 2026.
Healthy strategies for 2026. Well, I'll keep it simple and things that are top of mind. Healthy strategies. I think the first thing would be to make sure that you just have the right nutrition plan. What do I mean by that? Well, everyone's different. There's what's right for me and what's right for you and what's right for me right now. Because what we needed in our 30s and our 60s are completely different. What we need in perimenopause is completely different. What we need, right? Maybe you have more stress in your life for a chapter. And so how your body functions now could be different than it was just even, say, 90 days ago or 6 months ago. So having the right nutrition strategy for your body right now is really important to work off of. So having that in place, knowing that the strategy isn't just inclusive of the right amount of calories, the right amount of protein. The strategy can be inclusive of, hey, making sure I'm not in the stress response, making sure I'm getting enough sleep. Any other imbalances? Is my gut health off? Do I need to work on that this year? Are my hormones off? Do I need to work on that this year? Do I need to focus on getting my thyroid in check? So that nutrition strategy, there could be imbalances before you can get to the right energy balance or calories that is needed. So digging in and exploring the correct nutrition strategy for you, I think, is going to be it's bigger than a tip, I suppose, but that can take time. I always maybe this segues into another tip, I suppose. There's an urgency sometimes. This may not be you. Maybe you've encountered it before. And so sometimes the nutrition strategy can be a little maddening because I don't just want my weight loss now. I want it yesterday. And not finding the right one yet can be frustrating when there's urgency. And so something to pay attention to with urgency is that urgency or that frustration with the lack of weight loss. If we are quick to urgency or if we are quick to frustration, it's often an indication that somehow, some way, I'm not good enough as I am in my body right now, and I need to fix it. Like it needs to be fixed yesterday because as I am right now is not okay. So patience has to be a part of the process. You may or may not be in the stage where a calorie deficit is going to launch you. So calorie deficit with the right amount of protein and weight comes off my body. Like maybe you're in the phase where you do need to work on the nutrition plan. We don't know for sure, but that is, it doesn't mean you're not strong enough or have enough willpower or not capable. It doesn't mean any of those things. It just means you're figuring it out. So that's one.
That's a big one. That's a big one. And that is so true.
I saw a comment about on-the-go protein, which I know we'll get to in a bit too. I would encourage you to honor how you work, build that in, right? Like if we know we need protein, honor how you work. I see people fighting themselves sometimes on like, I should just be at home cooking. Well, if you don't like to cook, then it's not going to stick. Maybe you'll eventually become someone who likes to prepare semi-homemade stuff. I don't know, but you don't have to be. So just know how you operate and work with yourself. I think one of the biggest skills along the path that someone can learn is consistency. That took me a long time, and there's a tiny equation to consistency. So being consistent with what works. If you are beyond the nutrition plan in the new year, the tip for consistency is there's 3 parts. You've got to, 1, have a step so small that you can't fail. Number 2, you have to have a reminder. And number 3, this is a skill that's required for sustainable weight loss, is you got to learn to do a thing when you don't feel like doing a thing. And that's the consistency formula. So I had someone who just every time didn't do anything and felt really bad. And, I think showing up matters. So I said, all right, are you capable of, she had a short driveway. Are you capable of, walking to the end of your driveway and back? It wasn't anything long. She's like, yeah, I can do that. I was like, can you physically do that? And I was like, can you do that once a week? She's like, yeah. I was like, can you do it twice a week? She's like, yeah. How about 3 times a week? She's like, yeah. And it's we run over our resistance at that point. Like if this is our resistance, we're running ourselves over like a little dump truck with a little dump truck. And it's kind of like, there's a little voice in our head that says, well, you just should say yes, because you need to be doing this and you need to be doing a lot more. And you shouldn't just be walking at the end of the driveway. You should just be doing that full loop. So instead of just doing the driveway, why don't you just do the mile? Like you've got all this nonsense happening in our head. And so we've got to find a step so small that we can't fail, because doing it when we don't feel like it, if it's the end of the day and you've promised yourself that you're going to walk to the end of the driveway, you better put those shoes on and go walk to the end of the driveway. And sometimes for some of us, not all of us, not true for all of us, but there's so many unkept promises that we have to ourselves in our weight loss journey. And so consistency is just about, can I learn to keep promises to myself? And that's how we rebuild self-trust and self-respect. Because I did what I said I was going to do, and I started rebuilding. I trust myself. I believe in myself now because I'm doing what I say I'm going to do. So that's where consistency lives. And so some of us need a nutrition plan. Some of us just have to work on consistency because we already know what works. I guess if you want,
nothing.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you remind me of the saying that is, nothing succeeds like success. And if you have a small little thing you can succeed in, then success is what succeeds.
It snowballs.
Yes.
The motivation comes after the action, not before. And that's that success. If you want a small,
and a lot of times that putting on those shoes, that's the hardest part. Getting the shoes on and opening the door to leave. And so you're walking to the end of that driveway, and then it might feel good, and you can look and go, well, maybe I can go to the end of the street, and then I'm going to come home. But you have to give yourself the permission that when you get to the end of the driveway, if you want to turn around and walk back into the house, you can, and it's still success.
Right.
But if you're already in motion and moving, you might go even farther.
Too hard. I can do this.
Or this kind of feels good. Or, oh, look at the stars tonight. They're so bright because the moon's not out yet or whatever. And maybe, it'll encourage you to want to go a little bit farther. Or if it's during the day and the sun's shining, but there's a nice breeze and, a gentle breeze, you're like, oh, this feels really good. It's a beautiful day. Maybe I can go just a little bit farther. But it's your choice to go a little bit farther.
Yeah, it definitely snowballs into something wonderful, but just starting can be the biggest bite to chew on. So I think maybe a collective tip at this point would be thinking about, I see Sin saying it over here too, when you say maintenance is definitely a skill. And it's kind of like, if you think about the future version of yourself who has lost all the weight and maintained that weight for like 5 or 10 years, what is one skill he or she might need to develop in order to sustain that? And so you could work on that skill over the new year. Keep it simple. I guess that's a kind of wrapping up into several different tips, but keep it simple. If you want a nutrition tip, get really good at eating your protein and fiber.
I actually, that's, I was chatting with Taylor, who's the dietitian that I use at Southwest Dietitian Group. And Taylor said, Gina, are you going to write down, once you're at your goal weight and you're good, are you going to keep journaling all the food that you're eating and keep track of your calories and your protein and your fiber? Are you still in your fiber? And I keep track of my fruits and vegetables and how much water I've drank. And I give myself a star sticker if I hit all of those goals in one day, and I put a star sticker on my calendar. And she said, are you going to keep doing that when you're at your goal weight? Is that going to be part of your maintenance? And I looked at her and I said, not exactly. And then I told her, when Jeff and we've been traveling in an RV, and we travel for 7 or 8 weeks at a time when we leave. And I've done that while being on my GLP-1. And it's been a miracle for me because when I come home, usually after 1 week vacation, before we had an RV, if I vacationed for 1 week, I was guaranteed to be at least 5 pounds heavier on the scale. And the worst, after an 8-day trip, I gained 11 pounds on the scale. And so to be gone for 7 weeks and 8 weeks at a time without a scale, I'd be really scared when I get home thinking, oh gosh, and I hadn't really written down my calories because we ate out a lot. And so I really didn't know what my calories would be. And I stepped on the scale. And after 3 long trips, 3 times that I've done this 7 or 8 weeks on the road, I was either the same weight or just, I think one time I was down a pound and one time I was up 2 pounds, but I was doing maintenance. And what I was doing is I was eating I was eating the same breakfast, my Catalina Crunch, high protein, high fiber cereal with half an apple chopped in it and Fairlife milk because I can keep that in the van refrigerator easily. It's fast to make.
Who made it for you?
And Jeff would chop up the apple for me. And that's what he doesn't like the way I chunk apples. And we each get half an apple. So he's the one cutting up the apple for us. But that's our breakfast. And it's a very nutritious breakfast. And I know it's not calorie dense, but it's protein dense and fiber dense. And then one of our meals would be something healthy and homemade that I had frozen and put in the freezer of the van and then move it into the refrigerator, that kind of thing. And so one of my meals also is very healthy that I know. And I know it has like a lot of fiber, like my homemade chili and things like that. My roasted pear butternut squash soup, I make a bunch of that and I bring that on the trip. So I know I'm having something healthy then. And then when we go out to dinner, we split a meal. And so I'm having half the calories of a ridiculous amount of calories that's delicious, but I'm only having, half. And a lot of times I'm stopping because I'm satisfied before I'm done with that half and I'm not finishing it and walking away. And then I'm making sure I wear a Fitbit, that I'm at least getting my steps in and I'm aware of my steps, even though I don't know what I weigh because I don't step on a scale for 2 months. But I'm able to maintain. So I think when I'm on maintenance, I'm still going to weigh myself every day when I have a scale available to me. But when I'm going to start writing things down is if I see I'm starting to gain weight. And like when I came home from my trip, then I'm just cooking. I'm doing all my own cooking and where I know how many calories I have. And then I start writing things down and keeping track. And when I do write everything down with a tracker and I really know what I'm putting in my mouth and how many calories they are and how much protein and fiber, that I'm doing, I'm more likely to drop weight. And so I think that's what maintenance is going to look for me is if I start to gain a little bit, then I have to start writing again and earning a star sticker. But then once I'm back to where I want to be, I can set the journal down and just go based on trying to continue my eating healthy habits and stopping when I'm satisfied before I'm full.
I love it. There's lots of skills in there too. And it's in my experience with both myself and thousands of clients at this point, maintenance is like, it wobbles a lot in the beginning and then it does this and evens out. Cause the wobble in the beginning is because we're like, oh, am I maintaining? Did I gain? I'm not, what do I do? Right. You don't have those guardrails. And then the wobble ends up smoothing out when it's like time in the game, now that you've had that maintenance weight and it's kind of like, okay, if I do X, what's the plan if I to not track my calories? And then if I gain a little bit of weight, what can I do to get back to where I was? And so you learn that and then it just starts to flow.
So that's my hope anyway.
I love it. It's a great plan.
I'm not there yet, but that is my plan.
It's a good thing to think about in the beginning too. It's a good thing too when you can start with the end in mind and just think about who am I? Because you have a lot of really good. You talked about a lot of really good habits, just kind of off the cuff, which is great. Like being able to put the fork down, even though when it's delicious, and being able to step on the scale without beating yourself up. Like there's a lot of good skills that you have in there.
And one more with the stepping on the scale.
Mhm.
I have a strategy when I'm home. I step on the scale every morning after I go to the bathroom and I'm naked. So there's, nothing on me. So whatever the scale says it is. And I know that my weight fluctuates every day. I can be up or down 1 to 3, 1 to 3 pounds. Because that's just kind of how my body rolls, depending on how much salt I had the day before,
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff. And so when I do step on the scale every day, it's because I'm looking for my lowest weight of the week.
Mhm.
And whatever my lowest weight of the 7 days I step on the scale, whatever that lowest weight is, that's how much I weigh for the week.
I love
And
it.
so, and that's what I tell myself. So that way I don't beat myself up when I'm
Mhm.
up. When I'm up a couple of pounds, I don't know. That's okay. On Wednesday, I was 196. I'll be there again.
Yeah, when
Mhm.
is beating yourself up a good strategy?
It's not.
Never.
It's
It's
not.
not.
Well, I think it takes a lot of like to your it speaks volumes of your advancement in the journey because weighing daily is, I believe, an advanced strategy. And it's not good nor bad, right nor wrong. It's an advanced strategy because to get on the scale and to be able to see data as data, not as drama, is takes work. And so in the beginning of our journeys, getting on the scale and it's like, am I not good enough today? And then that snowballs, and then I see a number I don't want to see, and then we go eat the whole fridge. And so it's a very advanced move. I do like people to get to the point where they're able to weigh themselves daily because the amount of what you just said, the amount of data you get for daily is like, that's how that food affects me, and that's how that food affects me, and that's how stress affects me. And you can see those kind of nuances. And it takes a little while to get there, but that helps you in maintenance because now you understand, like, well, we just had sushi last night,
Chinese food.
so it's going to
Yeah.
go up a bit, right?
Right. I know if I have Chinese food the night before, I'm guaranteed to be 2 to 3 pounds heavier the next day.
Yep.
Guaranteed. Because it's higher in sodium and then the carbs in the rice
Mhm.
hold on to water too.
Yep.
And so but it's temporary. It's not a forever. It's not 3 pounds of fat, you know. All right, Jeff's showing me. We got some really great questions in the so let's see. Let's see what our shipmates would like to chat about here while we have you. Let's see. And we're going to say hi. We got Denise in the house and Laura. Yay. And Barb, Health at Any Cost. She's also one of our moderators and we love her. And we got Black Squirrel in the house too. Woohoo. And Grant, who's another one of our moderators, and Mayor Mindy.
Hey.
Hey, hey, hey. And let's see here. I'm going to go quickly to the, here's our first question. And Mayor Mindy says, Maya, any ideas for on the go protein? I'm trying to stick to more whole foods, but protein can be tough.
Mm-hmm. Yep. On the go. I don't know your individual lifestyle. So kind of it depends on your on the go status. If it's possible to keep a cooler, that's really nice because then you can keep hard boiled eggs and turkey lunch meat roll ups, those kinds of things. One of the things that just popped in my head for the on the go protein was have you ever heard of, you probably have, Mindy, was the dry roasted edamame. They come in little packs. You know what edamame is? The soybeans pods.
Soybeans. Mm-hmm.
So they dry roast it. You can just go to Google and put in dry roasted edamame, and there's a brand I think called Sea Point. Nobody pays us. We don't do any of that.
Right.
They're little packets like this. They're just dry roasted edamame, and Sea Point Farms has these little packets that are. It'll give you 20 grams of protein and I believe about 20 grams of protein and a good punch of fiber. And then they come in different flavors. You could get salt or ranch or something like that.
And I think that there's chickpeas like that too, Taylor was telling me.
Yeah, chickpeas are higher fiber, less in the protein, but I mean, it's still a bean, so it's still going to give you, but it's still an on-the-go protein, which is really great. Cheese sticks, the on-the-go
Yeah, I do
protein.
a lot of mozzarella cheese sticks. That
Mhm.
helps me leaving. And I like, Mindy, one of my to-goes, and then you let me know if it's a good idea, Maya.
Mhm.
But I like the Nuri protein drinks that come in a can, and it has 30 grams of protein. The
Mhm.
strawberry one tastes like strawberry quick to me, and I just
Mhm.
love it. And it's 150 calories, 30 grams of protein, and I keep them in the refrigerator because sometimes I don't have enough time for breakfast. And if
Mhm.
I'm going to be going to like a doctor's appointment or something in the morning and I don't have time to make a breakfast, I'll grab one of those and I can drink it in the car while
Mhm.
I'm going somewhere. And it really takes the edge off for me to have that 150 calories with 30 grams of protein. Um, it's been lovely. So between that or grabbing a mozzarella cheese stick while zipping out the door has been my two go-tos.
They also have. I'm trying to see if I can find the name for you. There is like little. I don't know if you like this. Some people don't like fish, but like canned fish packs. So like even just tuna, but sometimes they have um, tuna kind of on the go with a flavor pack, and it doesn't need refrigeration.
Mm,
That's a
I have
good
to check
one. But
that.
that drink is really good. Uh, you're gonna get a lot of good omega 3s from some of that canned fish too.
Sardines.
Sardines will totally work. I love sardines, but most people don't.
I know. Gina hates them.
Yeah. Well, I told Jeff he couldn't eat them in the van because when you open that up, I'm going to be smelling that, and we're in a small space and we're sleeping in there too, so I'm not going
Well,
to be
good
able to
protein.
escape.
That's funny. Sardines are so good for you too. That's great.
Yeah, I know. Darn it.
It's definitely an acquired taste. They have salmon. They have canned salmon too. If you're a salmon eater, that's always and those are nice because they just don't need refrigeration. Um,
That is helpful for
a
on
lot
the go.
on the go. What's nice with the protein stuff now is even if you live near a place that you can stop at, like gas stations, a lot of gas stations have, man, they've got meat sticks and cheeses, hard boiled eggs, yogurt cups. They got a lot of stuff now. I know you wanted to focus on whole foods. So even that kind of stuff is, I mean, I know it's out there. What else? On the go protein. I mean, it's not like the world's sexiest answer. Honestly, I make chicken breast and cut it up and put it in a baggie and take it to go.
We do we do that.
Do
We buy the
you?
one at Costco,
Mhm.
where they
Okay.
take their rotisserie chicken and they take the white meat and put it all together in a package. And then Jeff puts it in
Ziploc
Ziploc
bags.
baggies and he pre-weighs it in either 3-ounce bags or 4-ounce bags. We stick them in the freezer
So
and then,
useful for so many
oh yeah.
things
And
to
then we put
add.
a couple in the fridge every day.
Huh. Oh wow, that's genius. That's a really good just kind of way to meal planning and prep. If you're not a the last one, if you're not a people are not a big meat eater, I used to do that with something called tempeh, Tempeh. Tempeh is I am a meat eater. I do love meat. If you're not a meat eater or don't like meat as much, some people have a distaste for meat on a GLP too. Tempeh is like a block of soybean. It sounds gross, but it's not. I don't think it is. And then you combine it with like a little bit of a grain, and it comes in a block, and you can chop it up into either little sticks or squares, pan fry it in some olive oil and salt, and it's crispy, crunchy. And you could take that on the go too. One block of that has about 50 grams of protein.
Wow. That is
Yeah,
some significant protein.
yeah,
Yeah.
tempeh is a good one.
Yeah. And if one of you has a really good idea of something that you do where you
Mhm.
take protein on the road, you can put it in the chat now during the live. And if you're watching this on replay, put it in the comments
Mhm.
because we'll keep the conversation going there too.
Thanks, Mindy.
Thank you, Mindy. Grant's got a question. What do you recommend for potassium if someone doesn't like bananas? That's a good question, Grant.
Yeah.
Potatoes?
Yeah. Potatoes are a good one. I got a couple pulled up. Who's asking? Grant. So recommendation for potassium. If above the age of 18, if you're a woman, about 2,600 milligrams, and then 3,400 for men. So yeah, potatoes right up there. Like one medium potato with skin, you're going to get about 926. So that's really good. Other
What about
other
avocados? Do avocados have a lot of potassium?
half a cup will give you about almost about 600. Beet greens, Swiss chard, baked potato, yam, acorn squash, spinach, avocado, bok choy, and beans, white beans, lima beans. You're really going to get a lot of it from vegetable bean. Those are some extra places to get it in. So sometimes sometimes it's fun. Listen, this is your dietitian saying it's fun. It may not be fun to you, but sometimes just balancing your nutrition, like if depending on a food app you're using, for example, potassium, or I see a lot of people I miss a lot of calcium and even magnesium when we need more magnesium during stress. And sometimes you can kind of shift into just working on balancing your nutrition and ask yourself, am I getting everything I need from food? So I really like this question, Grant. I think it's a good one.
And Barb, Health at Any Cost, says, my Medicaid doesn't pay for registered dietitians. Oh, man. Even diabetes education registered dietitians. Oh, my gosh. So I never saw one until my therapist recommended the American Cancer Society has free consultations with registered dietitians. I had 70 minutes with her and learned lots. That's great, Barb. And that's a really good tip. Thank you so much for that. And Mindy says, my insurance pays for 6 registered dietitian visits per year. We space them out to make them last.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
I'll take it.
Yeah, good idea, Mindy. And Black Squirrel says, there's so much focus on protein, which is good, but what are the negative effects of too much protein, and how much is too much? That's a fantastic question, Black Squirrel. What do you got, Maya? I don't have an answer for that one.
Yeah, it is an excellent question. You can definitely overdo it. I rarely. I think I've seen one person overdo it. It was a family member, so I'll leave them up. But it's now there's back and forth information in some of the research in terms of how the protein affects the kidneys. Does it? I have seen in practice, so it's kind of like I'm bringing to you what I've seen in practice for 18 years as a dietitian. I have seen there is a kidney. It's a GFR. It's a kidney filtration rate marker, and I have seen that go down. And it should your kidney filtration rate goes down as we get older. Naturally, it goes down as we get older. We like it in in our 20s and 30s and even 40, like it's okay to be in the hundreds, and then just naturally kind of goes down. We don't really want it. I believe, don't quote me, I'm going off the top of my head, 60 before you get into kind of like the kidney disease area. So you can see it in your labs. And how much is too much is, if Black Squirrel is here and Maya is here and we're both the same age, height, weight, sex, everything, you could eat 200 grams and I could eat 300 grams and we could have different effects. Like it may affect me and not affect you. So there's definitely never one line in the sand for everybody. And that's what people I'm not saying it's you, but the real answer in nutrition is never sexy. It's always, it depends. So how much is too much? Well, I tend to, I can certainly give you the formula, but it always depends on someone's weight, and always depends on someone's weight and their height and their activity level as well. So, yeah, how much is too, like I had a client who is a bodybuilder, losing weight, 6 foot, over 200, over 250. So he was getting in, I believe at one point, 200 grams of protein, and it wasn't affecting any of his numbers, and he was okay with that. Another one, also it was male, who was just under 6 foot, working to build muscle. He was at 300. It hit his kidney numbers. I'm not saying this is true. These are true numbers for you. I have never seen a woman, in my experience with the people I see, eat too much. It really just depends on, like, for example, being at a goal weight, if we're 130, 40, 50, 60, that is a place we can achieve with protein, is 100 to 160 grams, again, dependent on height and weight. If our weight is over 200, getting 200 grams of proteins is that's a bit much and hard to do. So let me know if I answer your question. Yeah, I definitely would have to, it'd be good to see your kidney labs, and how tall you are and how much you weigh.
Got to see. And what's the general guideline? What is the general guideline for the average person of a protein goal to try to hit as a minimum?
So I'll give you the exact. So what I like to use, and there's a minimum. So and then there's a range, which kind of dietitians based on a person's lifestyle. So the range I like for people to be in is somewhere between 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight. So there's a slight conversion in there.
Yeah, that's not regular
You're making
pounds.
me do math.
I know. If you can if you watch the replay and you can, but very, very simply, if you take your total weight and you divide it by 2.2, that's your weighted kilograms. So your total weight divided by 2.2 is your kilogram weight. And then you can multiply that by 1.2 to 1.6. That depends on your body weight, of course. Your minimum protein needs, like danger zone, especially on a GLP, is take your weight, divide it by 2.2, multiply that number by 0.8. That's your danger zone. You don't want to go below that. So I'll give you a super brief
here's
example.
mine. I'm 196.
You want to do 196?
196 divided by 2.2.
Divided by 2.2.
Okay.
So you're 89 kilos.
Okay.
So minimum, bare bones minimum, times 0.8 would be 71 grams of protein a day.
Okay.
I think you can do better.
Oh yeah. I try to shoot for at least 100 if I can.
Perfect. So if we do, let me see.
I give myself my star sticker if I hit at least 80 and I hit all of my other goals for the day. Then I can still get my star sticker, but I'm shooting for at least 100.
So 107 to, I'm doing the math, 0.6. Okay, that's pretty good. So 1.2 to 1.6 for you would be 107 to 142 grams. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if someone's coming from that place of like, I'm barely hitting 80, like, cool, you're above your danger zone, add 10 more next week and just keep going. So sometimes those numbers scare people, sometimes they don't, but just take the next step in front of you.
That's why I just threw that out there, because I'm kind of at, I'm still chubby, but I'm not, I'm more in the average chubby now instead of super chubby where I was. So I thought maybe that'll help somebody. And I'm 5'2.5", so I'm still a short. Okay, let's go to the next. See the next question. But that was a great question, Black Squirrel. Thank you. Hey, we got Cindy. And Cindy says, met with Josie last week. Have another appointment January 7th. Maintenance is not easy.
Yeah. Yeah, congratulations, Sin, by the way. That's amazing. Always let us know how we can support you. Yeah, so you don't have to answer. It could be rhetorical, but something I think through is okay, why am I thinking that maintenance isn't easy? And that little brain dump will list for you like all the skills that you'll need to learn in your maintenance phase. You're just in that like new maintenance wobble, and it'll even out. But I mean, that's a great, maintenance isn't easy. Is just your experience, and that's something to explore because there's new lessons and new skills to learn now.
Yep. And so neat that you're able to meet with the registered dietitian, and Josie is on the Southwest Dietitian Group team. And Barb says, how so, Sin? How is maintenance not easy for you? We'll see if she answers that in a bit. And we got Paula in the house too. She says, hello, everyone. We love Paula. And Cindy, I tried to create all my meal with protein focused. Yeah, to make sure. And, for those of us who have type 2 diabetes, it's real important, even when we have snacks, to have a little bit of protein with our snack. Because if you have just a carb, even if it's a healthy carb, but you don't have any fat or protein with it, it will spike your sugar and then drop you again. But if you, so you need kind of a little bit of a balance, even with our snacks. So that's a good idea to be protein focused like that. And Cindy says, even during Christmas, my plan was good. I failed in execution 2 times, but lost 1.5 pounds. Wow. Congratulations, Cindy. That's great. And Paula has a question. What are your thoughts on BMI? I'm seeing so much chatter about this in the GLP-1 community. My doctor says pick a goal weight that works for me. I like your doctor, Paula.
Agreed. I like your doctor too, Paula. Yeah. Short answer. I use the BMI scale in 2 ways. One does someone qualify for a preventative benefit in their insurance? Number two. Number two is sometimes not true for everyone. Sometimes I've encountered a client or patient who literally has no idea what their goal weight would be. And so then I'll go to the BMI scale and give them the ranges and play with the numbers and say, well, here's what BMI says you would be overweight and normal. And you can tell, like, there's nobody but you that lives in your body. So, for me, I'm shorter as well. So it's like the range of my BMI would say that I could go all the way down to like 110. I look sickly, and these things about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes.
Those are the only 2 reasons I use BMI.
Yeah. For me, I according to the BMI chart, I could be 110 is good. And when I was 110 in high school, I couldn't eat. I had to exercise with really taking very little food in, a few bites of cottage cheese and a tab, and then I'd ride my bike all over town in the summer, and that's when that was the only way I could hit 110, because I have a lot of muscles on my bones, and I have a decent sized tush on my bones, even at 110. But then it makes my face kind of sunk in, and my ribs show. It's too skinny for me. And so it's not a good, but it's, towards the bottom of my BMI, but still that's not a good number for me based on how my body is.
Tab is the original Diet Coke.
Yeah, Tab was the original Diet Coke.
In case you're tuning in.
Yes, for all you youngins out there.
Tab.
Yeah. And let's see. Hey, and then Cindy, we got a couple of Cindys in the house. Taz the Bulldog's mom is a different Cindy. And then we have Sin 551 as well. And Sin says, I'm walking 2.5 minutes, then, I'm walking 2.5 minutes, then running 2.5 minutes on a walking pad. I have never run in my 52 years, 1 step at a time. Oh, so she's doing that, not like, is that intermittent? It's the HIIT. Is that what it's called?
Hit high intensity.
Yeah, where you do a burst of super
Mhm.
high intensity and then you slow it down and then you do another burst. That's supposed to be like really fabulous. What do you think, Maya?
Yeah, I'm definitely not the expert in exercise. I know that Taylor definitely knows a little bit more in that area when she's on than I do. But there's I believe I know this is on YouTube. I believe some of the more recent research shows that it is some of that in high intensity training, short burst for short amount of time, not long, not an hour, not long periods of
Right.
time.
That's what she said. Two
Um,
and a half minutes running, two and a
yeah,
half minutes walking.
can be
Doing
very
that back
beneficial.
and
Like
forth.
doing that not in a like in a short increment can be very helpful for women. So
Mhm.
yeah, either way, I mean, either way, you're building cardiovascular, your cardiovascular health. So weights, lifting your weights, which we need on our GLP, is as we build muscle, as we work till failure and build muscle, that is allowing you to increase your resting metabolic rate and how many calories you burn at rest. And the cardiovascular is good for our cardiovascular health and burns more calories in the moment.
And Cindy says she's down 120 pounds. Wow. Congratulations, Cindy. And she also loves the chronometer logging
Yeah.
my food.
Mm-hmm.
I can see how much I'm eating or not eating.
Yeah. Chronometer is what we use in at Southwest Dietitian Group. That's a great one, Sid, if you ever want to like dive into your nutrition, your magnesium, everything. It lists all that in there. That's a great one. We like that one.
Oh, good. Jeff's a big fan of My Fitness Pal, and he
Mhm.
does the free version of that app, and
That
he
works
knows
too.
what his stuff is too, the vitamins and minerals in his food. And Mindy says,
Mm.
I love Only Beans brand at Adame.
And
Yeah.
Adame.
anyway,
Edamame.
Edamame. That's the one. Yeah. The Only Beans is another good one.
Okay.
Nice.
But she's going to check out the Sea Point Farms too. And it's always good to like more than one brand in case they go on sale. You can get the one that's cheapest at the moment. And Grant says, just got 12 cans of Nuri for $20 at Sam's
good.
Club. Hey Grant, I don't want to make you feel bad, but right now, if you've got a Costco has Nuri on sale for $5 off.
Wow.
And so you can get it for 15 bucks. But I don't know for how long, but at least through the first of the year.
We don't get a kickback.
We don't get a kickback from Costco either. But I love Nuri. I think it's delicious. The strawberry Nuri is my fave. And Paula loves Nuri too. They have vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry at our Costco. And Paula, it's on sale right now. It just went on sale on the 23rd of December in that new Costco sale catalog. So I don't know if it's on sale for a month or a couple of weeks, but
And if you buy something at Costco and it goes on sale within 30 days, you can go to the desk there and tell them, and they will give you the lower price.
yeah, which is awesome too. Yeah, and Grant, he's a fan of the chocolate. Mindy says, I wish I liked protein shakes. I eat Chomp's meat sticks. I like the tuna pouches. I don't think my office mates like me eating that at my desk. I love sardines too.
Or in the van.
Yeah, or in the van. Yeah, that's the hardest part about fish. And Paula says, I like Snack Mates by New Primal. Their chicken and apple mini sticks are so good. I've never tried those.
Mm-mm.
Have you ever had that, Maya?
No. Pulling it up now. Good one.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
making
good
it,
one.
Paula. And Cindy says, I was told by my nutritionist that Nuri isn't good for you due to some of the ingredients.
I pulled up the ingredients because I saw that. I'll make this as brief as possible, but I think it's important, and it's because I see another comment about maybe not dietitian safe foods is that there are there's what's right for you right now on your health journey. If someone is doing something unsafe, I just want to offer you a different way to think about this, and you can try it on like a pair of pants, and if you don't like it, you can put it down. If there's something someone is doing and it's not safe, if someone's consuming 300 calories a day to lose weight, that's not safe. I'm going to tell you, we need to talk about it. If food is on the shelf, it's generally recognized as safe. So would I rather, the story explains it. This is true, hilarious and true. I had a client on a telehealth session. She was at work, and she had her salad and a cookie, and she was in the session. I love cookies. In the session, eating her cookie, and asked me and said, "Hey, I heard that carrots have a lot of carbs. Are they bad for me?" And so,
well, she's eating her cookie.
Correct. If someone goes from regular soda to diet soda, and it's helping them with their sugar cravings and their calories, drink the diet soda. If you're doing Nuri, and I don't know why your nutritionist said this, sure, I see sucralose in here. I see sucralose is the yellow packets, the Splenda packets. I mean, it's your body, your choice. It wouldn't be out there if it killed us. So it's your body, your choice. And where are you at? And does it work for you? Does it fit into your lifestyle? Is it helping you meet your protein goals? Then do it. If you want a chapter in your life where you want to move to real whole foods, do it. I think you should have the choice here if it's hitting so I hope that makes sense.
It does. And a lot of it is by volume. So these are Icebreaker Orange Cream Pop Mints.
Nice.
I was at my neighbor's house, and they only have like a calorie a piece. They're only like 1.5 calories for each little mint.
You should have a whole bunch of those.
Yeah, and it kind of looks like this. And I'd never had them before, and they are delicious. And they taste to me like Bear's Children's Orange aspirin from when I was a little kid. And when I was a little kid, we didn't have treats in the house except for during holiday times. And so when you had a fever, you were almost excited because you knew you were going to get that orange. Mom's going to give you that orange medicine that tastes so good. You're all excited to get your little Bear aspirin. And so when my neighbor Jackie had these, and she offered me one, and she was eating them, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And they're just a little sugar-free mint. I had a bunch of them. I was at her house for about an hour, and I had quite a few. And then she said, oh, Gina, these were on sale like at the dollar store or something. Take them home. You love them so much, just go ahead and take them home. So I go home, and I ate a few more. Oh my God. The pain I had for the first time on a GLP-1, the worst sulfur burps. They were so loud. It was like earthquakes were happening in my house.
Were shaking.
It was terrible. And then it gave me the worst, most painful diarrhea I've ever had in my life. And come to find out, there's sorbitol in here. If I would have eaten just one, and just had one in a day, maybe two, it'd be fine. But I think I had 20 of them. Less than 40 calories. That's not bad. And I had 40 calories available. I only had maybe, 1,300 calories that day. 40 calories were these. Oh my gosh, the pain. So a lot of it is by volume. A little bit of something's not gonna kill you. Too much of something could really hurt you.
Yeah. Those OLs, any sugars with the OLs is sugar alcohol, and those definitely. There's a lot of people who can't tolerate them. They'll run right through you too. So a lot of people have it go out the other way.
Oh yeah, it was something. And the pain, just the painful gas from upstairs and downstairs. It was terrible. It was awful. Okay, 15 minutes. All right, so let's see if someone else has a question. Yep, Jeff's my clock watcher for me since we have to babysit. Barb says, I cook and use
Tempeh.
tempeh?
Yeah, that's the tempeh.
Tempeh in salads and
Yes.
sandwiches. They are tasteless. I microwave it and it takes the taste of whatever you put on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, tofu can be that way too. It'll take the flavors of how you spice it. And Cindy likes Chomp's beef stick and really enjoys those. And Barb says, I eat a lot of things a dietitian would poo-poo, but it works for me anyway.
That was the comment. You'd be surprised. We don't poo-poo many things.
That's great. And Barb says, those of us with CKD must ask our nephrologist.
Chronic kidney disease?
Yes.
Chronic kidney disease. Pre-GLP-1, my EGFR for cleaning her kidneys was 38. Wow, that's really low. Now, after 3 years on a GLP-1, her GFR is 82. My her kidney doctor is stunned because GLP-1s aren't known yet for helping chronic kidney disease. Yay, Barb, that is great news.
You're advancing the science.
Yeah. And she lets AI do her math too. Hey, and we got Angie in the house, Journey of Life. And she said, oh, I made it. Yay. And yep, and everyone's just so kind to each other. And Journey of Life says, hey, Grant, how are you? I know I'm super late, but I've got 4 in the house fighting the flu, and it's just me hanging on by a thread. Oh, Ange, and I hope you don't get sick too. Not fun.
We'll throw a prayer in for you.
And yep, and we all are hoping your family feels better. And Sin says, not easy finding a new goal to work towards. I hit my goal. Now what? I have a goal of running a 5K. Hey, that is a huge goal.
That's
So
amazing.
now, just find some of those fun ones of being able to do things that were hard to do when you were 120 pounds heavier. You know, going on hikes, all kinds of fun stuff. Aw. And Paula says, Josie is great. I'm so glad I tuned in when you had Maya on the first time. It's so good to have a dietitian that understands GLP-1s. It really is. And everybody that works as part of the Southwest Dietitian Group, they are all outstanding and they really get it. They understand our journeys.
Uh-oh.
Didn't know what you did, did you?
We're
Good.
frozen. We're back.
Just frozen for a second. Sorry about that, guys. And Mounjaro Journey with Pam's in the house. Hi, friends. I missed the formula to figure how to calculate needed protein to convert pounds to kilograms and multiply by 2, or what number was it?
Real quick. So your weight in pounds divided by 2.2 equals your kilograms. And then you take your kilograms and you can multiply that. 0.8 is minimum protein needs. I like to stick between 1.2 to 1.6. Optimally 1.6.
Times your kilograms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Cindy says, great advice, Maya. Thank you. I also love you saying, try saying about trying it on like pants. Yeah, you can always put them down. I think my nutritionist said this because I'm trying to eat clean.
Oh, okay. That's valid. So it's think of it as education too, where it's kind of like, this is, I will always respect your choice and what you choose. So maybe she's trying to educate you in terms of, kind of clean or not. So.
Okay. And Pam says, I took my 10-year-old grandson to physical today, and his pediatrician said he needs to eat those veggies and fruit. No sodas. Yes, Grandpa. And his dad has allowed him to have too much processed food. And the grandson has some medical issues. So, yep, Eating cleaner will be helpful for him. And we got Dawn in the house, and she says, late as usual. Hopefully the new year will be kinder to my timekeeping. But thank goodness you can watch on replay, which really does help. And Angie says, thank you for the prayers. I wonder if Zepbound is helping me to not catch it. Usually I'm the first to go down. Also, I want to say thank you, Maya. The scale moved after eating a bit more than I was. Yay!
I
That's right.
remember that.
Remember that? That if
I
you
remember,
don't
yeah.
eat enough calories, your body will think you're starving and will hold on to every last one and not want to let your fat go. And yeah, and sometimes just eating a little bit more will relax that. Your body will
I'm
go,
so happy that worked.
she's feeding me. Okay. Yep.
Now you've
Hey.
learned a little bit about your body too. Like that's a pattern for your body because you could slip into that in the future.
Absolutely.
Question.
And Jeff has a question.
Do you have a favorite book for cognitive behavioral therapy? I know this is one that I had read.
Oh, Feeling Good, David Burns.
Yeah.
The new, what was the tagline? The new what?
The New Mood Therapy, but this is an old book, so it's not really new.
Yeah. You like that one?
Yeah, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure that it's available in print anymore. So I was wondering if you had one. You mentioned it earlier. I thought maybe you might have a favorite.
I don't know that I have. I'm going to have to think about that. And there's not one that's
Okay.
coming to mind. I have my bookshelf right across from me. So, okay. I'm going to get back to you on that.
Okay.
And now that and
Thanks.
it's so perfect that we're caught up on our comments in the chat because we're starting to run out of time because Jeff and I have to go babysit our grandson. So we're super excited to see him. But I want to let you all know that the new year is coming. I want you to be thinking of a power word for the year. In let's see, 3 years ago, my power word
You have
was
5
grace.
minutes.
I know. 3 years ago, my power word was grace. And I wanted to give myself grace and other people grace all year long. That was my only New Year's resolution, was just grace. And then that summer of the year of grace, we got our van, which we love dearly, that we've been traveling in. And when we got that van, we named her Grace so we could travel in God's grace. The next year, in 2024, my word was, I took 2 words, and it was health and travel. Jeff had just been diagnosed with bladder cancer. And I was extremely overweight. At that point, I was 246 pounds. But then I discovered at the very beginning of the year, after Jeff's surgery on January 3rd of 2024, a couple of days later, found out that my insurance was finally going to be able to cover Mounjaro for me. And I took my first Mounjaro shot on January 10th. And was able to lose weight. I lost my non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, was cured within 8 months of 2024 being on Mounjaro. And that fall, Jeff and I were finally able to start traveling again. And we did our first 7-week trip. So those 2 words really worked. 2025, my word was explore because I wanted to do a lot more exploring in my van. And Jeff never picked a word before, and he picked embrace, to embrace the fear and do it anyway. And Mayor Mindy in here, she talked Jeff into going on a cruise with me. So we were able to do that as well because he embraced the fear, did it anyway, because he would never go cruising with me. We had a fabulous time. And so now I need a new word for 2026.
You're out of time.
And I'm out of time. Next
But
Monday.
there are comments right here.
Okay. Next Monday, I will be sharing which power word I'm going to do. I'm between about 4 power words right now. So I'm trying to narrow it down, but I want you to let me know.
And not divulge those just, well,
yes.
The other people in the chat can see them.
Yes.
But
and Mindy's got hers.
Love
and
that.
Barb's got movement was 24, momentum 25, harvest. I love that, Barb, for 26. And Angie's got Faith. That's a really good one. Yep. Aw. And Paula says, thank you for having Maya on again, Gina and Jeff. Yes. And next week, next Monday, we're really talking power words for the new year. All right, everybody. Oh, and also real quick, on January 8th, Taylor, our registered dietitian from the group, she is going to be doing one at 3:30 in the afternoon. I think that might be a Wednesday, January 8th. And so for people who can come on at that time, that would be great. And our places for today, three people who get to wear crowns this week. Mindy, she's our third place crown winner. Second place is Denise, and number one is Barb. So Barb, you wear your crown proudly. I love you all. All right, shipmates, hold on to your anchor moments and make it a great day. I love you. Bye-bye. And thanks again, Maya. We look forward to having you on again real soon.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.